Welcome back to the Merchant's Mark, where we uncover the hidden mechanisms of wealth and power. Imagine a nation with no oil, no gold, no natural resources, and not even enough fresh water to survive without buying it from its neighbors. In 1965, this tiny, swampy island was given up for dead. Today, it is the undisputed titan of global trade and the #1 logistics hub on the planet. How did they do it? The answer is simpler and more ruthless than you think. When Singapore separated from Malaysia in 1965, the situation was bleak. Unemployment was staggering, and the country was just a collection of mudflats and colonial warehouses. The world looked at the island and saw a failure waiting to happen. But their leader, Lee Kuan Yew, didn't look for resources in the ground. He looked at the map. Singapore sits right at the bottom of the Strait of Malacca, the narrow waterway where nearly a quarter of the world's trade passes every single day. He realized that if you can't produce the goods, you become the person who moves them. The government didn't just build a port. They built an absolute fortress of efficiency. While other nations relied on heavy bureaucracy and slow paperwork, Singapore eliminated the friction of trade. They made it cheaper, faster, and safer for a cargo ship to dock, unload, and refuel there than anywhere else in Asia. It became the ultimate middleman. To understand this empire, we have to look at the business of transshipment. Ships don't just come to Singapore to drop off goods for the locals. They come to drop off goods for the entire region. It's like a massive global post office. If a container is coming from China and heading to Europe, Singapore is the fastest stop to change ships. They introduced zero-tolerance policies for corruption and created an environment where trust is the actual product. Business schools study Singapore's logistics strategy, writing thick textbooks about their algorithms for optimizing supply chains, their automated port terminals, and their tax-free zones for global corporations. Competitors were terrified. They assumed the government possessed a secret economic blueprint or a hidden network of trade treaties that no one else could access. The island became an economic miracle that baffled the Western world. At the Merchant's Mark, we decided to dive deep into the early archives of their economic rise. We examined the communication logs, the original ledgers of the first container terminals, and the memos of their founders. We expected to uncover a brilliant, long-lost formula for industrial dominance or a masterclass in how to outsmart global competitors. But when we looked at their greatest success, becoming a global powerhouse for oil refining without owning a single drop of crude oil, we found the twist. We checked their earliest trade ledgers to see how they built their oil empire. It turns out the secret isn't a complex, high-tech engineering method or an advanced oil field. They simply buy raw oil from their neighbors, keep it in a massive bucket, refine it, and sell it back to the exact same neighbors at a premium. They became the world's third-largest oil refining center by simply being the best at holding everyone else's resources. The greatest margins don't always belong to the creator. Sometimes they belong to the master connector. The Merchant's Mark: why produce the goods when you can simply own the port? Subscribe to follow the cargo.